Are you ready? I think you can tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's no way you can hear that and not get pumped up. For anybody who remembers the Attitude Era of WWE, that was the Attitude, and it was absolutely fantastic. It seemed, I'm okay playing with it. I'm okay playing that one because we're actually going to be ranking our top 10, top 5 wrestlers tonight just to have some fun and mix it up. But here at the podcast is your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door, talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We are telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. And joining me, as always, is the greatest producer of all time, Belle. How are you doing tonight, Belle?
You know what? I'm looking forward to tonight's discussion, actually. Scott, how are you?
Oh, it's good, man. We have the artist formerly known as CosmosDefi on with us. I know what you're doing, Joe. Just say it. Just say, I don't want Cosmos anywhere near me anymore. It's cool. I understand. You understand. The audience understands. We all get it. But until that happens, you shall henceforth be forever known on this program as Cosmos DeFi. Come on, dude. I still make AMP videos. All right. For of all things, I still talk about AMP. Here at the podcast, we have a tendency to talk about what others are not talking about and bringing the focus onto use case cryptos because, as we know, these are what drive the market and bring innovation to a world that desperately needs it. The status quo's no longer acceptable. Time for technological revolution. Welcome to crypto and welcome to the podcast. And thank you. I was off on my own intro. It's I've never said that before. I've never read that intro before. So yeah, of course, Bill, I should be off just a little bit. I geeked it. I geeked it right there at the beginning, and then it just completely threw off my rhythm. That's why we're doing this on YouTube and not on NBC. I would love that, man. Just, Kramer, let Kramer do his show. I'll come on afterwards and just let the hate begin, man. I'm there for it. It feeds me. It just makes me big. It makes me strong. It makes me ready to play things like Degeneration X intro. So yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Joe, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing as good as I can do, I guess.
That's it. How was the trading today, dude? Did you make any money?
I didn't trade today. No, I haven't charted in like 2 weeks. I'll dig in tomorrow for a little bit. I talked to Lavana today. I looked to Nolis. I want to take out like a leverage trade just to be bad, and then not look at it for like a week, see what happens.
Oh, that ain't the way to do it, dude. Look, you need me. All right. Fortunately, you got my number. You can just text me. Let me help guide you. Let me help guide you through the massacre that you're about to enter.
Actually,
dude.
I looked at one chart today. I looked at a Litecoin. Litecoin looks cheap if you like proof of work. I don't own any. I used to, but that's the one I looked at today.
Actually, I've been in like pure leverage mode, dude. Look, man, my longs are my longs. All right, they're good to go. I'm already set. It's actually weird that I'm that comfortable with my long-term investments, with my Akash, with my Kudos, with my Jackal. I'm comfortable enough that I don't even check the price anymore because it doesn't matter. No. These things are not going to come to fruition for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months because they are out chasing consumers and not so much investors. The people who turn these into speculative tokens are us. It's not them. One of the teams. We're the ones who did it. We're the ones who are looking at charts and saying, look what's about to happen. Having no idea who the team is, who they're talking to. I mean, absolutely nothing. I got a question. Somebody emailed it to me, and they literally said, how do I use Jackal storage? I said, are you not familiar with Jackal? He said, no, I own the token. I stake it. I've been a long-time holder. But you've never used the product. It's a little bit shocking to me. So, but that's crypto, babe. That's the whole ball of wax here in crypto is you buy it and hope other people use it. You don't even know what you're invested in. So because I am wonderfully confident, and that lets me take my play money and go play. It lets me go over there and do crazy leverage trades and shit like that just because because I can, because my longs are so strong that I don't, and I got in them at the right prices. So it really doesn't matter what I do now. I can literally not fail. There's nothing I could do that's going to make me fail crypto. And how many people can say that? Aside from me, Joe, can you fail crypto, or are you so stout in your positions that you have no worries?
I'm looking at Astrovault right now.
That's good. That's the one.
I bought more. I bought more last week, but I'm comfy with every buy. I think my one misstep was I did buy Celestia, and maybe I bought it 9, and then I bought it 11. So that's my only one that I'm not that happy with. But almost everything else was either gifted to me or I just bought, because I only buy with limit orders. So
Yeah.
I look at the chart. I say, okay, if it goes down to here, I'll buy here, and I set my limit order. And then every once in a while, I get an alert on my phone. Your limit order triggered. I'm cool with that. I bought, Chainlink at 13. A couple of my limits went off this past week or two, but whatever. It's just part of my bag now. I don't check the price every day. I just don't.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, fortunately, you know me, and you know I do. I don't check the Jackal or the account. You know what, they're up. They're having a good couple days. That's about it. But I honestly, dude, I'm not selling. I mean, I'm not selling, so the price is really, really irrelevant to me. I earn, I got them staked. I earn, yeah. So I get enough coming in that we're good to go on everything. But no, man, the large positions, dude, I ain't going anywhere in those things. That's why I've been looking more and more over on Levana. And surprisingly, dude, it is it's not a bad platform, brother. I know, like I said, that's not really your thing. You don't really dabble over there too much, but it is not it's not a bad platform because of some of the products that they let you leverage against. I mean, dude, you got the British pound is up there. Gold is on there. Silver. You can literally leverage against gold and silver. And this is stuff that you can make an accurate prediction on what they're going to do based on information that's available out there. Mm-hmm. Now, I have no idea what the hell White Whale's going to do tomorrow. There is not enough information for me to make an educated guess. Yes, this is going to be a solid buy. Nothing like that. Nothing. And I've been having so many epiphanies lately. Actually, the one I just came up, I'm going to mention it to you. I'm going to say the word Pendle. Are you familiar with Pendle?
No.
Okay. The total TVL on Pendle is about $3.2 billion. Now, this is just, yeah, you can make the face, dude. They're sitting at about $3.2 billion, meaning that just the TVL that's sitting on that one tiny little platform that you haven't even heard of has a greater value than Atom. That one little platform, the TVL, has a greater value than that. And the more I go branching out, and the more I go looking at that, the more I sit here and say, why the hell am I wasting my time in Cosmos? Because all we get is more of the same and doubling down on stupid and just more grift, more huck, more shenanigans happen over here than I see anywhere else. And then you go out and you look at the action on all of these other places, on all of these other platforms, and what's going on over there. And yeah, it's just it solidifies my decision, my positions, everything. I think it is going wonderfully, and the fact that I can that I did well and that I can really migrate some capital out and go where the action is makes it even better. So I what I'm saying is, dude, I understand why you dropped the Cosmos. I just like you to look at the audience, look at the camera, and say, I'm trying to be all inclusive. Say you're NATO now, all right? You're NATO. You're no longer representing. You're no longer representing your host country. You're with NATO now. You're sitting up. You're in the G7. Go ahead, that's it.
Yeah, I always intended to do more than one token, and I don't only want to talk about crypto anyway. So I'll during football season, I hope my audience will like to listen to some football talk. I hope, maybe even during the Olympics, we talk about for 5 minutes on the Olympics. I don't like these crypto channels just talk about one thing, and that's what my channel was. And I'm like, this stinks. So I planned to branch out more than 6 months ago. I finally started the process, and it actually takes longer than you would expect to change everything over. I'm waiting for YouTube to change over, because you could migrate entire YouTube channels. I'm waiting for that. And I'll just be Joe version 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've caught our last few streams. Me and Bella Bella and I are very, very into music. We love music.
So
awesome. we've been kind of mixing in the crypto talk with actual with actual music just because we enjoy it so much.
Did,
And it
did you
reminds
catch
me of,
you catch my record? Do you have this one?
let me say it. I get it up close. Hang on, let me show it to everybody. Your big screen. The FM 101 history of rock of the 50s, dude. That's awesome, man.
So we got like I guess like what Bobby Darin. I don't know. Bobby Darin's like 60s, right? So the Platters. We got Big Bopper. We got
You probably got the coasters on there somewhere if you're going
Dion
all
and the
50s.
Belmont silhouettes.
Gotta have some Buddy Holly in there, right? Is his name on there? Because come on, man,
50s.
you're talking about the the
Del
legend
Vikings
himself.
is good. No, there's no Buddy Holly on this one, but I think this is one of a few. So maybe he's on the other ones. But
Buddy Holly got stiffed. Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was at my parents' house. I was in the basement doing something. I see their record stack. I know they don't have a record player. So
Yeah.
I sift through it. I grab this one. I sneak out the back.
Okay, I'll pull an album out here because I got my vinyl is sitting over here, and it what I'll just we sold our soul for rock and roll. What was the band?
We sold our soul for rock and roll. I definitely know it.
Yeah.
Is it Black Sabbath or AC/DC?
It's Black Sabbath. Round of
Okay,
applause. Okay. Bell, send Joe $10 worth of power bottom for knowing the obvious.
Send me a Columbia House gift card for $1.99 so I can get 10.
Oh my
10
God!
albums.
Do you remember those things? Do you
God.
remember those?
The first album I bought whatever album Iron Man was on. I bought that with my mom's Columbia House thing. I was probably like 12 or 13. I think that was the first CD I bought was a Black Sabbath CD. And was that the album? We sold our soul for rock and roll. Is Iron Man like track 3 or track 4 on that?
Iron Man is on that one. Yeah.
I think that's what I bought. I think I bought it with my first CD, and then I got 10 free ones, and I bought a whole bunch.
That was
a whole bunch
the
of
kicker,
garbage.
Man. Yeah, you got them all for like 99 cents. For God's sakes, I think I have a Winger cassette. I have a Winger because I was just trying to round it out. You have to make choices, and I was like, I don't like anything else out here. Sure, Winger. Let's put Winger.
I remember Winger on like the 80s ballad infomercials that would come on at night.
I always thought the funniest thing about that. You remember Beavis and Butthead, dude? You remember?
I
know you would. Yeah, remember their friend Stuart? What was his T-shirt say? It said Winger. He wore a Winger T-shirt. That's a little bit of trivia that only the real old guys are gonna get into.
That's obscure.
Yeah. Anyway, look, man, we're gonna get into it, dude. We're gonna have some fun, dude. We're gonna talk
Let's
it
have
up.
fun, man. I haven't had a fun day. I told you I've been fasting, so I'm drinking tea. This is the worst, man. I'm not
letting you off the pure fun thing, dude, because I did listen to your space today with Lavana and Nolis, and that was a good space.
I had fun. I usually get bored on my own space. This space, I was like, damn, we could do this for 3 hours. I didn't even come close to getting to all the questions I wanted to get to. My Telegram sent in like 25 questions or something. I got to like 3. So I'm gonna I'm gonna have to like do a follow-up.
Telegram? You have a Telegram?
I have a Telegram. It's just announcements. So I just like share stuff in there, but now I also field AMA questions for people that can't make the space. And
so
I think that's
is it like at CosmosDefi? Is that the Telegram? Is it CosmosDefi, or do you rebrand? Are you Dead Cat Media?
I don't think I could rebrand it. I think it's because it started off as NFT Telegram. I think it's Cosmic NFTs or something like that.
You're not Cosmic Root, are you? Is that you?
No, that's not him.
The hell, you guys act like anybody talks to me about anything. Nobody talks to me about anything unless it comes down to how do I leverage
NFT
trade.
drops. Cosmic NFT drops. So
okay.
I used to use it for like whitelists and stuff, and then it progressed to like just me doing whatever in there. No one can talk in there. It's just announcements, so I don't overwhelm people with meaningless communication.
With like your inner thoughts escaping, like, man, I have got to drop a deuce, dude, but I got 2 more classes I have to teach, so I'm gonna have to sit here and just eat peanuts or put a paper clip on my underpants. I don't know how you process it. I'm pretty sure I know you're a teacher, so I know you get up there and every now and again, dude, you have got to shit, but there's nothing that you can do about it, man. You've got to finish a class because if you walk out quickly, everybody's gonna know. I mean, they're gonna.
It's tough because I teach a 4-hour block. I don't teach a normal teacher schedule with like off periods and stuff. Yeah. Our school is, I start teaching at 8. No, is that right? I don't even know. 8 Yeah, it's a 4 hour, whatever is a 4 hour block. So I got to plan. I got to plan ahead.
Are you honestly, you don't know when the hell you teach or what time you're supposed to be there? What school is this?
My
Because,
schedule changed a whole bunch of times this year because we're one of the only schools that does rolling admissions, so we can admit like a bunch of new kids in like May, which we did. So I think 850 to 110 is the block. That's what it is.
okay, well, there we have that one down now, Bell. So I think we're all good to go. That we can continue.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't sound like Joe can use the excuse, I've got to put oil in my truck.
Oh
No.
yeah, that's a funny one. We story for a different time, man. That's one of our drunk moments. We'll certainly get to it. But yeah, look, man. Anyway, I was really impressed with Chris. Is it Christopher? Chris or Christopher? Who's from Lavana?
That was Jonathan.
Jonathan, I'm sorry, man. Like I beat a lot of people. I was really impressed with him, man. I get the Eric Weissman vibes off him. I really do, man. The guy knows his business and he understands where he's doing.
I watched your stream with him, and the first thing you said was you sound overqualified, and that's exactly what I'm like. Why does he have all this experience? But he has a lot of Web3 experience also, so I could see how he's trying his best to leverage it. Maybe he would say this off camera, but maybe he overestimated like the knowledge base and the expertise of Web3 users, maybe.
I think, and I made it a point. I've told him, I'll tell him again, and I will continue to say it. You put a whole lot of faith in the Field of Dreams idea that if you just build something really cool, people are going to come, and you did that. And your marketing budget is zero, and you guys are actually a physical product, and nobody knows about you.
And they're not doing that bad. From the data that he told you, they're kind of a middle of the pack perps platform. Which I think is spectacular. If you're building on someone else's chain in Cosmos, usually don't get that much attention because everyone's looking for the next app chain, the next layer one airdrop and all that. So next time I talk to them, I would love to dig into where they stack up against the competition, where they think they have an edge, where they think they're giving up edges because they're part of Cosmos, which is, it's very, let's call it self-contained, right? The Cosmos, even though there's all these bridges and stuff.
Look at how delicately you always try to say something, dude. I literally put Crypto Inferno on the stream, and you're still on here. Just being
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say
it's a pussy, and won't
because it's not accurate to say it's not walled off, right? An intermediate user should easily be able to bridge from Ethereum or Solana into Cosmos and start using stuff. It just doesn't seem like they do, and there must be a reason for that. And it's not because of the apps that are launching now. It's just because of, I think the way it's been presented all along should have been way better. And Cosmos should be a huge powerhouse of an ecosystem. And we're behind Tron, right?
Yes, and we're going to continue to stay behind Tron because the people in power, or the people who can make the decisions, or the builders who are always building, always seem to be busy over at conferences or get-togethers or meet and greets or overseas somewhere else.
Building.
Busy building, or they're over there in Brussels right now. And I thought the funniest thing I saw over there was it was a cautionary tale. One of the devs over there got robbed in Brussels, and it's because he was wearing swag of something that actually has value. And the funny part, taken away, they said you should have just worn an Atom t-shirt. Nobody would have robbed you. In fact, they'd have robbed you and said, "Oh, geez, no, I've heard of Atom. Here, dude, take some of my money." I think
if someone jumps you, like you're peeing in an alley in a strange city with your Atom shirt on, someone tries to mug you, when you turn around and put your hands up and they see your shirt, they'll take you to the diner and buy you a cup of soup.
Right? They'll sit on the bench next to you. They'll put their arm on your shoulder and say, "Hey, pal, hey. No, stop crying. Don't cry. No, shh. Look,
don't
people are watching. It's gonna be okay. All right, it's gonna be okay. Weird things happen all the time. People win the lottery every day. You might be that guy, man. So just dry the tears. All right, there's girls here. Don't cry in front of women. And it's gonna be okay, man. I think that's where we're coming in. Bell, we're coming up on the first break. I saw that we had some chat. Do we got any questions or anything?
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, we got the chat. Let's ignore the chat today. No, I'm just kidding.
No, come on. You run your show, dude. All right, Bella, will run this one.
All right. So, first one coming in from Microman. Little bit of discussion on the Discord. When Ethereum tanks like it has done, should you stay in the V3 or hold and wait for it to come back up? Just for entertainment purposes, of course.
Okay, Joe, why don't you answer this one?
I don't get the question. What do you mean stay in the V3?
Yeah, there you go. Why don't I take this one, dude? You sit
Yeah.
over here on the side. Look, your little window Joe right now. It really depends, dude. You have to analyze it and look at it and figure out why did Ethereum drop off? Did something happen? Big sell, big calamity, big heist? Did anything weird come on that would have made it tink back down? Typically it's market sentiment. If you're talking top 20, it's overall market sentiment that's going to move this thing. You got the Germany dump in Bitcoin, you got Mt. Gox, you got all of that stuff. But most of that can be explained, and there are so many snoops out there looking at wallets that are telling you every single thing that's happened on every single one of these. So if Germany decided to drop off another 21,000 Bitcoin tomorrow, Bitcoin tanks, Ethereum's going to run down with it. That is something that is easy to explain. I understand why this happened. And then look at the counter, market forces. Are people still confident in this? Are the Ethereum ETFs still coming? These are pump my bag things. All right. This doesn't change the dynamic. All it does is invite in more sharks. But you have to look at it like that, as opposed to, oh, hell, I have to panic. Now, here's where it gets real tricky, man, is you're going to have to figure out how much am I going to lose by not rebalancing this pool. While I wait for the market to catch up, you're earning zero. Your money is 100% fully exposed. So do I want to break this down, and do I want to break it apart? Do I want to sell off half the Ethereum at a loss so that I can turn it into USDC, pair Ethereum USDC, and then ride it back up? Do I want to do that? How much am I going to earn by doing that versus how much is it going to cost me by selling at this price through no fault of my own? So there's a lot of factors that go into this, dude. You can't just arbitrarily say, oh, I'm just going to rebalance. You need to take a look at the overall market conditions, market sentiment, what happened, situation. Crypto sucks, man. All right. The your average crypto investor out there says, you put in $100 and you get a Lambo in 2 weeks. It is not like that. All right. You have got to, when you're dealing with the big dogs, when you're dealing with top 20, top 25, you have got to look at market conditions. All right. Everything is going to weigh into this. And it's not just what's happening in crypto. It's what's happening everywhere. All right. Did Israel ramp it up? Is Russia pushing on Kiev now? Or did we raise interest rates? Did infrastructure fail somewhere? Did we miss a jobs report? There are tons and tons and tons of factors that you have to go in on this. So I'd love to say it's an arbitrary yes, but it isn't, man. And each situation is going to be different for each individual. Hope that answered the question, guys. I know that one long answer, and I know it's not what you want to hear. Microman wants to hear, yes, this is exactly when you do it. And there simply is no answer like that, man. You guys got to kind of got to deal with it. Anyway, got to fill the glass, guys. If you could, please give us 60 seconds. Going to come back with your questions. We're going to have some fun. We're still rating wrestlers tonight. I'm right about everything because virtually everything I say is solid gold. So I'm 100% right, and I'm going to argue the case. And yeah, you know what? We'll talk about a little crypto here too, guys. So if you could, please, 60 seconds, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. Not a big crowd tonight. You know what? Is out it? Do you just want me and Joe to fire away? I'm asking the audience. You guys talk to me here.
Yeah.
All right. Do you just want us to swing and really duke it out? Because we can talk about whale. We can talk about just the latest in atrocities that seems to have happened over here in the cosmos. We can do all that. I can tell you what I'm buying. I can tell you what I'm doing. We can do all of those things, man. But sometimes it's just fun to let the hair down. And it seems like one of those nights. But you know what? We aim to please. If you guys want us to just slug away, we will absolutely slug away. I'll pound the desk. I'll throw my drink. Joe, I don't know what Joe does. I don't know how he loses his shit. He's just one of those cool, calm cats that he internalizes. He keeps it all inside before he really busts. And I mean, come on, man. You know where my heart is, dude. Juno's a winner. I don't care what you say, Joe. 100%. Juno will make a strong, screaming comeback, and I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be there just with rags to soak up all the tears of the unbelievers. That's what we need. That's the kind of shit we should do, dude. Is just take these lost causes and do make real good positive fluff pieces on them, man. I would enjoy it. I know you'd be fantastic at it.
Yeah. I said this like a long time ago, and I think I was specifically talking about Juno, or maybe Juno was in the conversation. I said that once you extract a certain amount of value out of a chain or out of anything, there's no way to resuscitate it. And even with outside investment, I think any of these tokens that had one chance, and all they had to do was not rug, right? Because we know like the Cosmos tech is good and all that. They rugged. They're getting bled out. The same people that rugged are on the validator set still. So they have no chance. Everyone there is wasting their time. I don't like DAO. I do like gambling, and they had some good gambling stuff there that just didn't pick up. They had one chance, they blew it. Let's not talk about Juno, please.
But I'm wearing the shirt, dude. All right, I want to get more miles. I want to get more miles out of the shirt. Are you not tuned into the stream? You don't have it up on your little laptop or next to you?
No,
it's on delay
because he's doing this thing. It's called focusing.
Wait a minute. Did you say delay? You fuck. You know what? Delay doesn't mean I've been on this. My delay is like 30 seconds, dude. You could have at least once looked at the screen over the last 22 minutes that we've been on and noticed that I'm wearing a Juno t-shirt. Are you telling me that I am that uninteresting? Is that what you're saying, Joe? Come on, go on record, dude. Do it.
I'm writing down my favorite wrestler. No, I'm writing down my favorite wrestlers, and I'm. Do we put duos in the top 10 or no?
I will accept duos because I have a couple of preferences. So okay. Yes, I will. I will accept. When you mean duos, you're talking tag team, right?
Tag team, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's perfectly acceptable. Bell, I'll tell you what. Scrub it out real quick. Get any of the crypto questions. Let's answer the crypto questions. Let's get those out of the way, and then we can just kind of drink and party and have fun. Because tonight's episode is brought to you by Smokehouse Bottled in Bond Rye Whiskey. Man, love it, love it, love it. Bell, go.
All right, new type. Lavana, are you not using Kinetics, Joe?
I am using Kinetics.
You just said you don't really leverage trade. So if you're not leverage
I've
trading,
made a few trades, but I don't chart on a daily basis. I put in a few leverage trades on Kinetics, and that was it. I've never used any other platform. And with Lavana, I told them, I said I will do a video on this just because it sounds like they've got some features that maybe Kinetics doesn't have yet. So I'll definitely check it out.
Well, they have a few here. I'll poke around on Lavana while Bell answers the next question. Ask the next question, Bell. Go ahead.
Monero Dinero, how about the Jackal Flash Pump API glitch? I'm guessing.
It wasn't just that, man. It was actually Osmo. I went and looked over at the osmosis token. Here, I'll pull it up. Everybody should enjoy this one. Yeah, I went over and looked at the Osmo chart, and it wasn't actually Jackal or anything like that. It was anything that had any kind of major connection to Osmo, because Osmo, for the very briefest of moments, hit $2.06. And the funny part is that when it hit that $2.06, it carried everything that was touching it, including like Jackal. Jackal went to $1 something. AXV just exploded. Everything that was touching that exploded. So everything that we've been saying up till now, the things that are bringing them down, it's pretty clear, because as soon as we had a little glitch, everything that got sucked down by this immediately started going up and just having a wonderful day. And it was kind of fun for me because my my Astrovault. I got it maybe a little under 500,000 over on Astrovault, and I looked at it, it was like 1,000,006. I mean, just like that, just bam, 1,000,006. It's like, now that's a hell of a good hour.
That's a good feeling.
How much did you make this hour? About $1 million this hour. So I mean, if you break it down, I mean that hell of a good salary, dude. I was Jeff Bezos for a moment. Yeah, so I don't think it was any one of those things. It was clearly an Oracle issue, and it all stemmed from there. So there you go. Hope that answered the question, Bill. Carry on.
The Better 101. We talking about shadow storage today?
Yeah, I did a video on it. Somebody asked me and Bell about it last night, so I went to do a video.
Yeah, it was the Better 101 who asked.
Okay. Yeah, I did the video, dude. I couldn't make it work. I mean, I couldn't make it work at all. The screen absolutely froze. I did it twice. I did it on video. It's all captured. So I don't know if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work on PC, because if it doesn't work on PC, I'm not real sure what you're doing here. But yeah, I couldn't make it work. I couldn't do it at all. And then somebody else put in a request for another storage one. I forget what it is. Something yeah, LFIM. I went and took a look at that one too. I couldn't figure that one out either. And it's not that I'm sure they're wonderful, and I simply don't understand them. But if I'm going to take a look at them, dude, I want to do it the way a consumer is going to look at them. And a consumer is going to look at this and say, no, just like that. No, this is not for me. And they're going to move on.
It's the same as when someone downloads an app. If they can't use it within 10 seconds, they probably never open the app again. And that's the app builder's fault. That's not the user's fault.
Yeah, but see that we don't do that in crypto, man. We don't blame the user, or we don't blame the builders. We blame the users. Well, you just simply don't understand. No. I bitched about Kajira for years. I said, look, man, it is too complicated.
See, I like it.
You like it? Yeah. Okay. You're the
one. I went there specifically for order book dexes, and I was very happy. It was the first time I ever used an on-chain order book dex, because I like to set my nice boomer limit orders, you know.
and I respect that, dude. I think it's I absolutely respect that. I look at it the way a average first time user is going to come over and take a look at this, and it's not good. All right, it's confusing. There are too many things. There's just too many bells and whistles. And again, I've been giving them a hard time, but man, now I'm ready. I'm doing this, man. Good luck. You guys go do your thing. When I was over there on Pendle, I looked at one of their that one pool, a single pool over there, has more TVL than the entire value of the Kajira network. Just one little pool on one tiny little Pendle, and it has more value than the entire ecosystem of Kajira. So I'm like, you know what? It's not really worth my time. I think it's neat. Maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they won't. But overall, man, look, they already lost. The game is over, man. They're just kind of dragging it out so that they can say builders are still building. We're going to fix it. It's like, no, 2 years ago. Yes, you should have done all these things 2 years ago, but it's 2 years too late. Just my opinion. What do I know? Bell, carry on.
New type, Joe and or Scott, with the decent recovery on Psi, are they the canary in the coal mine to show that it's better to basically become an L2 for Ethereum after you originally launched with Cosmos SDK tech?
I'll let Joe answer that one. He loves this shit.
I didn't hear the chain.
Psi.
I think that if you ask all the builders in Cosmos, if you would turn back the clock 2-3 years and just launch an app on Ethereum, would you do it? Unless they, stole a whole bunch of money at the launch of their protocol, they'd all probably say yes.
See, and I'm gonna answer that a little bit differently, Joe, because I am a hell of a lot more jaded than you are, dude. All right, their intent was never to launch a product.
I know.
Their intent was to, and I want you on record too. All right, I'm not gonna be the only ass in the wind.
I'll go on record
dude.
right after you. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Their intent was never to launch a product. Their intent was to come up with something that could get funded, so that them and their college friends could hang out for 3 or 4 years, get a salary, holding something that they know is never ever going to be able to be monetized. That is never ever going to be interesting to consumers. This is their way of getting funding, so that they really don't have to get a real job. They don't have to produce anything. Doesn't really matter. They could, partner up with all of these validator sets. There's a reason that the top 20 on every single Cosmos chain is effectively the same people. So if they call in, they get them, they get protection, everything's good to go. This is just them not getting a real job because they still never, ever have to produce a real product. It's a hustle. Why do you think there are 90 plus L1s over here in the Cosmos that do dick? Joe, out of the 9, can you name them? Can you even name them? Your name was CosmosDefi. You were everything Cosmos. Can you even name the big L1s? Because none of them have gone away. They're all still out there. They are all still out there. They're still turning. For fuck's sake, Chihuahua. Wawa is still up there. I saw them putting out a Twitter looking for the handouts. They're saying, hey, we got to get we have to get listed on a central exchange, but we need money. We don't have any, so would you donate to get us listed on a central exchange? The dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life. And I'm in crypto. I've heard just the most ridiculous shit, but that was way up there. So it was never their intention to put these things out, and they would have never been an app. They are there to take the tokens, hold them themselves, make some money, pour people out, keep doing a job that really doesn't matter, and that was their intention. That's the way I see it. Joe, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think if you really believe that decentralized finance is going to disrupt traditional finance, and you had an idea that was going to change everything, if you really believe in this idea, you could build something that was going to contribute to that, you would have put it as an application on ETH. You wouldn't have started from scratch somewhere where nobody knows where you are, right? Like that's just how it is. You would have built the app on ETH. You would have never launched a token. You would have inserted a 0.1% fee that goes to your wallet from now until the end of time, and you would have maintained it as needed, and that's it. That's what I think.
Yep, but we do it a different way out here, dude, because you clearly do not understand the way Cosmos works. All right, because you don't.
I just don't understand the tech.
That's what it is, man. All right, carry on, Bill.
All right, Divergent Dan, does impermanent loss affect V3 pools differently than a standard pool?
V3 is nice and simple, man. You know, I'll pull it up and I'll show you. It's just easier to illustrate it. Hang on, let me open up one of these over on Camelot. I got to switch network. I've been playing on Ethereum. We got to go to Arbitrum, so give me just a second here, guys. So here's just a couple of pools that I'm in over here on Camelot. Like Camelot, I'm not getting away from Camelot. I think they're fantastic. So let's take a look at the USDC Ethereum pool. As impermanent loss is 100% a reality over here. That's why it's very, very important that you like both sides of a V3, because over time, both sides are going to become 100% either side. So you need to really, really like these. In the case of this pool right here, USDC Ethereum, as Ethereum continues to go up in value, it is slowly going to become USDC. Now, I'm okay with that because I want more USDC. I don't maximize the gains. That's the idea of the fees, is that they kick it over to you, and they're never gonna completely correlate. If Ethereum doubled overnight, all of my Ethereum would be gone and it would become USDC. As Ethereum continued to climb away, I wouldn't get any of that, all right, because I'm already out. I'm out of range. It's all pure USDC, a little bit of fees, and we're done. So you have to think about these as you can't really think about these as the big monsters that are you're not gonna 10x a V3 pool. It's mathematically impossible. So you have to think of these as lunch money, basically. That's kind of what it is. So it's very, very important that you be in the right pools at the right time, and that you keep them balanced or keep your range. So IL, these are all about impermanent loss, 100%. Again, as Ethereum goes up in value, it becomes USDC in this very pool. And when Ethereum goes out of range, all of my Ethereum is now USDC. I have effectively sold it. The only time that works out really, really well is if immediately afterwards I've cleared the pool, I'm sitting in cash, and Ethereum tanks. In that case, it is in my interest to take some of that USDC, turn it into Ethereum, and jump back in that pool and ride it back up again. All right, these are not huge money makers. These are lunch money, but anything that you make, particularly in a flat market, is it has exponential value. That's why I spend so much time over in V3s, but you're never going to get rich on them. Hope that answered the question. Bell, carry on.
All right, and new type Deep House Nation with the actual last question, and then we've got a few comments.
Okay.
I don't like either token, but what is it about Formula One racing that would make both Polkadot and Bored Ape Coin recently pay for car ads? Doesn't seem like their audience at all.
No, I'll, you know what? I'll let Joe answer that one. Joe, what do you think
Yeah,
about Dodge
I
sponsoring a
am
Formula One car, dude?
as a New Yorker, I'm an expert on car racing and
Sure you are.
and rodeos and cow tipping. I car racing is the number one spectator sport in America. They're just going for numbers, I guess. I mean, it reminds me of the time where Major League Baseball decided they were going to recruit in India because they had the highest population density, and they were like, let's just see who could throw a baseball. That's kind of what this looks like. I don't know if someone's going to like smash a Miller Lite on their head and then go buy some dot on a Dex. I don't know if that's going to happen. So.
Dude, this isn't NASCAR, babe. This is Formula One. All right.
I don't know the difference. All I know is more people watch Formula One than watch my YouTube and follow me on Twitter. It's a lot of people that like Formula One and all racing, horse racing, even huge spectator sports. I don't get it, but
yeah, I know it.
NASCAR, non-athletic sport centered around rednecks.
Yes,
I would rather watch one of the channels that I used to have used to show 2-on-2 wiffle ball, and I used to watch that. That was pretty cool. But I don't know about racing machines. You know,
racing machines.
Demolition Derby would be better. Car racing, so many people watch it. I almost would watch it just to see how many people were there. So,
yeah, okay. So you were the wrong guy to answer that.
Definitely wrong.
Racing. Yeah.
I know about hot dog eating contests and baseball, and that's about it.
And the smell of urine, right? That's what you guys are pretty much famous for. Is those New York smells that you can't get anywhere else.
And sounds that you don't hear anywhere else, and also plastic bags stuck in trees. That's it.
Yeah. I saw somebody up there. No, it wasn't New York. It was San Francisco, man. They were doing a thing because they figured out that it's better to put the trash in the trash cans and push those out to the curb.
That's New York.
As opposed to just throwing it in the street.
That's our mayor.
Turns out.
Yeah, that's my boss.
That is your boss, man. That it's better to put it in a trash can, and they literally made a video. That it reminded me of that dumbass thing that they put out in the Netherlands. It was the "Please Don't Touch Me There" video for the migrants that are up there having their way with the locals. They had a little dance, and they said, "This is my no-no zone," and they put it out as a public as a as a public broadcast so that people can watch it. And I'm not supposed to attack them. Well, shit. Man, this is brand new to me. I get that same feeling. I get that same feeling out of New York, man. What world do you live in where you need a video to say put the trash in the fucking trash can? My God, man, you guys are this far away from like Cro-Magnon, man.
It's a world where the rats are the size of dogs, and there are more of them than people. They're like, well, maybe we shouldn't just throw our trash onto the sidewalk 4 days before the pickup. It's the other thing about New York. There's way more people living here than should be living here.
Oh yeah,
and they don't have space for the trash. They just throw it onto the sidewalk, and that's just how it is.
And you guys are okay with that, man. You know what you remind me, because you don't say any of this positively. You say it with like a little bit of pride. You own the token AMP, don't you? Don't you? You know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm about to go with this. Yeah,
I owned it. I love the idea. I said, wow, I could go to Bed Bath & Beyond and buy something with my Litecoin. Sign me up, because I was starved for products.
Yeah, Bed Bath, they don't exist
Bed Bath &
anymore.
Beyond went out of business.
You're
like about
to
go out of business.
You live in a shithole, all right? New York's a shithole. I know there's good parts. There really aren't, dude. All right,
it's a few good parts, but you got to walk through the other stuff to get there.
Yeah, so you're like one of those. I know I live in slime, and that we have rats the size of dogs, and they attack us nightly, and we take turns at the door holding them off with swords and shields. But you're living in that, and you're almost proud of it. You're like, yeah, but this is how it is, and we like it. Let me
cover myself here.
Okay.
I work in it. I commute into it. I would never live in New York City. Even the nice neighborhood, I would never live in New York City. I don't know. Listen, my wife used to live in New York City. We live in the suburbs now. And I'm like, let's move to Florida. She's like, it's too much like New York. Let's go to Texas. Like that's how much people want to get away from. I don't know who's moving in, but lots of people are moving out. So.
Yeah. See, I live in Des Moines, Iowa. Have you ever heard of Des Moines, Iowa? Have you ever been to Des Moines?
I think Sylvester Stallone did a whole show set in Des Moines, right?
No, but thanks. No, it was so. Have you ever been to Des Moines? Just answer the question, dude. Have you
No,
ever been
no,
to Des Moines?
flyover state. No, no.
Yeah, no. We're just like Manhattan, dude. If you came to Des Moines, Iowa, it is exactly like Manhattan. And I know everything about New York, dude. I've watched Seinfeld, every episode. All right, I've watched Friends.
Tulsa
So
King. It was Tulsa King.
I know everything about New York. I don't see what you're bitching at, dude, because I've watched every episode of Friends. I've never seen anybody simply shitting on the sidewalk. I haven't seen that, but you're telling me that happens there.
Okay, what you should watch Taxi Driver and then
I've
watch
seen it.
Taxi Cab Confessions and
No.
anything with taxi.
Okay, I'm gonna watch Taxi Cab Confessions, then I'll watch the Kardashians, and yeah, man, I'm ready for all of this stuff. Anyway, we drifted far afield here, Bell. Are we out of crypto questions? Can we get onto the wrestling stuff? I'm really looking forward to that.
All
I
right,
wrote down my list.
One more question came in from the Better 101. Have you looked into Aerodrome?
Aerodrome. No. I remember you telling me about that, dude. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
I heard of it actually, but maybe it was just from watching your stream.
Okay, what'd you hear?
The name was mentioned and it rang a bell. I don't know what it's about, but
yeah, I get a lot of emails, man. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think it, but yeah, I do get a lot of emails because if anybody sends me a recommendation and it looks real to me and I push in and I make money on it, I give them 10%. I got no problem with that, man. It's finder's fee.
Nice.
So I get a lot of things. People, well, dude, I wouldn't have made the money had they not made the recommendation. And even though I'm taking the risk is on me. That's me deciding, yes, I think that this is something that's worth a stretch.
10% is not bad. 10% is half of the Quasar fee, isn't it?
I don't know what the Quasar fee is.
I think it's 20%.
All right. Anyway, Bell, we got anything else, or could we just get on and really let loose and have some fun here?
We've got a few comments that we can sit back and laugh at. So,
Yep.
Microman, new Jackal use case. Write your small files to a vinyl record. Patrick will play them on demand.
Yeah, that
That's
seems like
scary.
the right thing. That seems like the right use for Jackal. Carry on, Bell.
Political. Columbia House was bad juju. Signed up and it was like an STD to get rid of. Kept getting cassettes every month for almost
and that was the
year.
bitch, because if you actually read their terms of service, because we really read the terms of service back in the 80s, as long as they sending you a cassette, you're on the hook, man. That's it. And it comes with, like, this is their recommendation. We think that this is a hot band. Tony Bennett does jazz music, and next thing you know, you got the goddamn cassette, and you're stuck because there's nothing you can do now, man. You got to pay for it. You got to move on. And yeah,
I know someone who got around that by reading the terms, and they got a letter. They mailed letters, return receipt request, whatever, certified mail, requesting to cancel. When they ignored that, he sent another letter from a lawyer friend saying that he's securing their property and storing it. He's going to charge them 10 cents per CD per day if they don't come get their property, and then they let him off the contract.
Did this really happen, Joe? Or
this
is
was
this a thing? Is this a thing that you heard about from another guy? Is the lawyer in the room with you right now? Can you see the lawyer?
It's a teacher that I had who I know he wouldn't lie about this. I know he wouldn't lie, but he said that he took Columbia House for like a couple dozen CDs and then just used that to not pay for them.
So he lawyered up to get out of paying $90. He lawyered up.
CDs are expensive. They were like $13 back then.
The hell's a CD, dude? I can barely remember CDs. You know, there was a time too, dude.
Columbia House sent CDs.
I had cassette tapes. I'm older than you, dude. All right, we had cassette tapes. Do you know what cassette tapes are?
Yeah, I got some Creedence tapes in the car.
That's easy. No, you have Creedence 8-tracks. You have 8-track tapes.
I never had an 8-track.
Do you still have an 8-track player? You do have an 8-track player.
That's why I have a turntable. That's it.
Why are you blushing right now? Because you have like CJ McCall, right? You have that. You got that 8-track tape from way back. All right, carry on, Mel.
Microman, that's a new investment strategy. AMP t-shirt.
AMP t-shirts. You know what? AMP's going to make a huge comeback. AMP's going to make a monstrous comeback, and I'm going to be the only guy that's been talking about it realistically. So, I honestly, man, it's just curiosity at this part. The funny part is that the Spend app, for what it is, works incredibly well. There's nothing wrong with it, man. It absolutely works, aside from the fact that it's a black hole wallet. But you got to remember the background of all these guys, all right? They are a gift card company. So you buy a gift card and you're stuck with the gift card. Man, this is not something that's new or unique. This is the way gift cards work. But the question that I wanted to ask, and I'm going to make an AMP video tomorrow because, you know what? Fuck it, man. I made Shadow Coin token today, and nobody watched it. So shit, let's just make videos that I enjoy making that are fun. What's stopping them from advertising the Spend app? What is stopping them from advertising the Spend app? It's already out there. It's approved on the on iOS and Android. I have it on my phone itself. It's not a bad app. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. But what is stopping them from actually advertising that app? The whole value proposition behind Flexa HQ was that app. So what is stopping them from advertising that? They're going to come back and, well, no NDA and this and this. How are you going to NDA something that's already fucking out there? It already exists. It's not like you can make people forget, all right? It's not the Men in Black app where if you open it, it pops you with a light to your eyes and you forget that it exists, all right? You can't do that, man. That genie is out of the bottle. So what's stopping you from actually advertising that shit? I just like to call it out and say everything you remember. Hey, Joe, you ever see My Cousin Vinny? And I know you have. Just come out.
Saw it in the theater, yes.
Yeah.
Theater.
Yeah, and Joe Pesci's opening statement, man, that's it. Look, everything that guy said is bullshit. All right, that's it. That's what I've got with this stuff. That's why I keep making these videos, man, because I just like to say everything that guy said is bullshit. All right, and here's why. Let's add some context. Let's have some fun. Anyway, carry on, Belle. Come on. We've got wrestling we got to talk about.
I know. Red Oak Craftsman, Scott's dream job seems to be producer for Johnny Fever.
Johnny Fever. Oh, my God. Joe, I'm going to ask you right now, and I'll give you $50. Who's Johnny Fever?
No idea.
Fuck you. All right, look, man, I'm even giving a round of applause after that, dude. I am so disappointed. I'm not even going to give you the answer. I'm going to make you Google it. We're going to watch your eyes go down as you're typing into your phone, and who is Johnny Fever? Carry on, Belle.
All right. Red Oak Craftsman. So as a consumer, why Jackal over Google Drive?
Privacy. What Google does, the very first thing that they do, and this is 100% accurate, and you can fact check me, knock yourself out. As soon as you send them your data, they are voluntarily holding it for you, but they're under no obligation to return it to you, and they mirror it. Every single thing that you send up end up mirrored. Do you know what metadata is? Have you ever heard of that? They're in bed with all the people you think that they would be in bed with. And everything that you send up to them, that you voluntarily send up to them, becomes a portion of it, becomes their property, period. So if you don't mind people seeing and being involved in every single aspect of your business, and that's from Google, Microsoft, Facebook, every up and down the chain and U.S. government, if you don't mind them having access to every single portion of your life, keep using iCloud, man. Knock yourself out. If you think there is a better way, if you think that your data is sovereign and because you created it, it belongs to you, and that is absolute fact, by the way. If you created it, it 100% belongs to you. Then you're going to use something like Jackal. If it's too difficult to use, you don't want to do it on desktop, well, hey, we have a solution for you. It's called Aegis. It's called the app that I made. I say it, I made. I didn't make it. We dreamt it up and I paid for it all. But I get to take a little bit of ownership on that. If you think that that's a better way because we're better, faster, smarter, cheaper, and private, then you're going to use us. If you don't think it, if you don't care, you don't give a shit who's in your business, continue using iCloud, man. I can't improve upon something that has the Google name, because if there's one thing Google is known for, it's privacy. They value your privacy. Carry on, Belle.
All right, Zazo Think Tank. I'm still trying to cancel my BMG subscription 35 years later.
It ain't never going to happen, brother. They got you, man. They own you, and the fact that they still exist is just hilarious to me. Carry on, Belle.
All right, new type. The way Scott feels about AMP shows me he won't let it go with Kuji either.
Nah, man. Look, you know what? The thing I feel bad about them is that they have such a large community, very, very passionate. I mean, pure cultists all the way down, man. They're gonna Koji, you know, it went from $5 to $1, man, and they're still sitting there just touching themselves, dreaming about it. Is the thing that bugs me is that they have so many people, but apparently nobody has a microphone, and I see it on stuff like the I don't know, Alphabet Soup or whatever the fuck Ampera became. Is that 6 months from now we plan on starting a podcast? It ain't that hard to start a podcast, man. Look, all you need is a laptop And I'm pretty sure you probably have one of those. It has a camera. You don't even need that. All you need is a microphone. Are you telling me it's that damn hard to start a podcast? But for some reason, nobody over there will do it. They have one or two people that are kicking out videos. They're pure maxi cultist videos, man. There's no reality in there. It is all nothing but positive vibes, good feelings. And we've already seen that doesn't play anymore, man. So you need to dose a little bit of reality in there. And that's where I come in. So I have no particular problem with it. It's just, man, look, they're not going to change. Nobody's going to change out here. People are what they are. So they're not going to change. The thing that's going to change the entire game is when they're downloading and using blockchain apps from the same companies that they may or may not be invested in, that they don't even know made these products. Those are the things that pull us out of the morass. Aside from that, you know what, just take a number and hope for the best. Bell, carry on.
All right. Actually, the rest of the comments can hold for a little while. Let's get on to
Beautiful.
the wrestling.
All right, Bell. So Joe, you had this idea, brother. Go ahead and cough, so you're taking the screen right now. Go. Okay, so I want to put a little bit on this stuff, man. Look, I want to talk about the Attitude Era. All right, I don't really want to throw it out to everything because AEW right now dominates WWE in every way, shape, or form aside from viewers. It is simply a better show, better stories, better wrestlers. You know, they just don't have the crowds. So I want to stick kind of to the Attitude Era and the people who made wrestling what they made. I don't want to go back to the 50s and 60s. I'd like to stick to the Attitude Era. So if you have somebody on there from like 1961, like the Mad Russian, go ahead and take them off the list, man. You know what era I am talking about. So do you want to start or do you want me to start? I'm very, very confident in my picks.
I would like to name my picks and you just tell me if they're in your top 10 or not. And,
okay, go ahead.
And let me,
Your picks.
I got a disclaimer here.
Yeah.
I never watched WCW ever. This is only WWE. WWF is what I call it. And I never watched these other WCW guys. Hulk Hogan went there, never once watched him wrestle over there. Never watched Ric Flair, never watched Razor, never watched those guys. Only WWF. Is that cool?
As long as you put Ric Flair on there, dude, because you're talking
Ric Flair
about
was a bad example.
Absolute fucking icon.
Bad example. Bad example.
All right. Okay. All right. As long as you allow for Ric Flair. But go ahead, dude.
All right. I'm going to read it in popularity order, and then we'll go obscure from there. But I got Mick Foley in my top 10 easily.
Easily. Yep.
Mick Foley's in my top 10. The Rock's in my top 10.
I agree.
Obviously, Stone Cold, probably number 1 on everyone's list, or number 2 if they're my age. And then I got Kane in my top 10.
You got to carry on, dude. I'm not gonna give you the Kane. Okay. I like Kane. I'm not gonna give you that one though. Go ahead.
And I go back to when I was a kid also, so like mid-late 80s as well. I got Honky Tonk Man on there.
I love the Honky Tonk.
He's on. He's on. Honky
Tonk Man is so good. Honky Tonk Man. He was so entertaining, dude. And you know what? I'm gonna interrupt your list for one thing.
It's okay.
Because there was a time when he was the Intercontinental Champion, Honky Tonk Man, and it was at WrestleMania. And who he was supposed to be wrestling wasn't wrestling. So he threw down the gauntlet and said, "I'll fight anybody. I don't care who comes out. I will fight anybody." And the Ultimate Warrior, his music struck up and he came running out of there and he pinned the Honky Tonk Man in like 10 seconds. It was clearly a passing of the torch. But he said, "I don't care who I fight. I'll fight anybody." And the goddamn Ultimate Warrior came running down, who's not even on my list, by the way. All
He's not on mine either, but
he was a goon.
I should have put him.
Everybody knows him. Everybody knows the Ultimate Warrior, man, forever and ever. But he came out and pinned the Honky Tonk Man in like 10 seconds. But I know, I love that guy, man, with the guitar, and he always beat the shit out of me. He did the same thing like Double J did that. He used to do the same thing that Double J did, that Jeff Jarrett did. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, Joe. Please,
no, it's okay.
And you got me excited with Honky Tonk Man, dude.
Ultimate Warrior. After Ultimate Warrior died, his estate sued my friend for selling Ultimate Warrior pictures on eBay.
Okay,
that's a true story. He just stopped selling them. But
I just said fuck it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Go.
I got Bret Hart on here.
You come on, the Hitman, dude. Come on, you can't leave him out. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to say Bret Hart without adding
Hart
in
Foundation. You could put.
without adding in Jim the Anvil, man. You cannot put one up there without the other. Obviously, look, Bret Hart was his own guy, dude. But the Anvil
I like when
made
all
that
three
team.
of them,
Man.
Owen Hart too. All three of them used to fight together sometimes.
Yeah,
So.
and it's that was terrible what happened to Owen Hart, man. That was just unfortunate. But yeah, okay, carry on.
So we'll put Hart Foundation over Bret Hart. And another tag team. I don't know how you feel about this one. I got the Bushwhackers on here.
I love the Bushwhackers, dude. They were pure. They were such characters, man. You know, it's clear. It's clear that they're shtick. They're very, very shtick.
Oh,
They're
it's so good.
wrestlers. But
so
yeah,
good.
the shtick was so good. It resonated so well. So I'll give you the Bushwhackers.
They're like
Now,
they were like the easiest on the eyes for the WWE's racist characters, because they're supposed to be like whatever Australian white trash is or whatever. That was the Bushwhackers.
well, I mean, they also did that with like Hillbilly Jim.
There's
and
so
Uncle,
many-
And
there's
Uncle
so many
Elmer.
races.
You remember Uncle Elmer, that big
No.
fucking 400-pound monster? But if you're gonna throw the Bushwhackers on, then I'm gonna counter with the Dudley Boys.
Okay.
You got to give me the
They were
Dudley
good.
Boys, man, because those
They
guys
were
are
animated.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And the matches that they had with oh my god, I can't believe I forgot their names, man. These guys are still wrestling. They're still over there doing it in AEW. The table ladders and chairs guys,
Hardy Boys?
the young Hardy Boys, yeah,
They're good too. They're
the
good.
matches between the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys are truly epic. I mean, all the way up and down.
Yeah.
And I remember WrestleMania. I remember the 20-foot step ladder, and Jeff gets up on the top. He does his thing, and he goes doing a swanton bomb into Bubba Ray, who's laying on a table underneath it. And we're all listening. Yeah, but it's just wrestling, dude. He just fell 2 stories. All right, he jumped off a 2-story building, smashed through a big man on a table. How can you not appreciate it, man? It's those holy shit moments that you get in WWE during the Attitude Era where like, I cannot believe they did that.
And they're
that
like
was-
so hungover from the night before. Like they're not athletes in the peak, physical condition mid-season. They party every night.
no, and they just had a show the night before, man. So that's the funny thing. But yeah, they go up there and do that. So I'll give you the Bushwhackers if you give me the Dudley Boys and the Hardys, the Hardy Boys, because those guys were just awesome. Anyway, carry on, dude. Go.
I got another possible racist character, British Bulldog.
Oh, you love Davy Boy Smith, dude.
I
Yeah, the
like the
British
dog.
Bulldog, dude. He was.
And Roddy Piper, also a little racist.
No. I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, dude. Hot Rod was he was a unique character
He was
that you will never ever see in the WWE again or any wrestling organization, dude. Hot Rod is legendary. He's one of those guys who goes down like Ric Flair. When you say Ric Flair, how awesome Flair was and how unique he was, you got to put Hot Rod in the conversation, dude. So I'll absolutely give you that one. I just think you're underselling him a little bit. I think you're underselling Hot Rod. You know what, Bell? You got to weigh in on this one here. All right, look, Roddy Piper needs to be higher up the list. Bell, what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I agree with that. And I'm starting to get a little mad. There's a name I'm looking for on both of your lists. And if it's not on it, I am actually going to be pretty freaking pissed.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I
got 2 names left to fill out the top 10, but I only got 1 more spot left. So it'll be a toss up.
You know what? I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2 names.
Okay.
Go.
I got George the Animal Steel.
Oh, George was awesome, dude. Eating the turnbuckles. Remember that was his whole thing. Dude.
As a kid, that was like disturbing to watch as a kid. I was like 6 years old and he was doing that, and my parents would let me watch it. They're like, "Oh, it's just fake." And then my dad would say, it's really not fake. And then I was watching this guy eat the turnbuckles, like,
and he would take the styrofoam and he'd rub it in the opponent's face, and the guy was like, "Oh God, I can't
Got
see,
a
I'm
green
blind,
tongue.
man." Yeah,
So
he was great. I'll give you George Steele, man. Go.
and then I got Hometown Hero on this list. And I know she's mad that there's no Undertaker, there's no Andre the Giant. I got that. But how's the Brooklyn Brawler not on any list?
You know what? That guy did B wrestling. He did the minor league wrestling forever with that shitty stained wife beater t-shirt.
The sweatshirt with the holes in it, smoking a cigar in the ring. How do you not like that?
The Brooklyn Brawler, man. The last time I saw him was actually on an episode of Impractical Jokers, where there was a bet, and he lost the last guy. If you lose, you have to do whatever the challenge is, and he had to go and wrestle the Brooklyn Brawler. It was in Brooklyn, because they do all this shit in New York. So
I don't think he ever won. I don't think he ever won a match. I think he got disqualified in every match.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's his shtick, man. His thing was pulling something out of his trousers or, a roll of quarters or some shit like that, man. That's all he ever did. Those are very, very classic things, dude. I'm more than happy to give you any of this. Why don't we just do a wrestling show, dude? Fuck crypto. All right, let's just do sports. Let's do wrestling. We could be talking about Wimbledon right now. The number one player in the world got knocked out today by Medvedev. That old man is still around, and he knocked out the number one player today. So we should just do sports, dude. Fuck crypto, man. We'll leave it over to the influencers.
I'm good with that.
Dude.
I used to be a huge baseball fan, like into all the stats, into all the fantasy stuff. I've peeled off of it quite a bit, but baseball, I like college football, I like NFL. I don't watch hoops that much, and I got back into hockey this year, so I'm good with sports.
We're good, dude. All right,
you do the Formula One and the horse racing, whatever you guys watch over there.
Whatever you guys watch in Des Moines, do you think Des Moines is a big home of Formula One? I'm just saying I'm aware of what it is. Not that I actually watch it. I could give a fuck about Formula One. I don't even like NASCAR. I don't care, man. It's a whole bunch of guys turning left, dude. I understand there's a lot of passion in it, and we're all up there. I don't care, dude. It's a whole bunch of guys turning left. I appreciate the fact that they're doing 200 miles an hour as they're turning left, but dude, I don't watch NASCAR, dude. I watch bare knuckle fighting, man. I watch MMA. I like my sports very violent, and I watch football. I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge baseball fan. I like all the dude. I was texting you when they were over playing in London, and you were answering me. You were like, "They're playing today." I was like, "Your fucking team, the Mets, are playing in London," and you were not even aware of it.
They lost me at the cardboard cutouts during COVID. I'm like, I can't watch this shit anymore.
Oh, you remember that shit? Yeah, and the canned-in audience. Woo!
And I was a huge listen. I loved Jose Reyes. The organization did him dirty at the end of his career. They did Piazza dirty at the end of his career. I think DeGrom. I don't know how they just let that guy leave so easily. I don't know. It's hard to be a Mets fan. Even if they win, the Mets fans are not going to be happy. It's just.
But deep down, you are a Mets fan, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a big Met fan. I don't think I've ever watched a Yankee game. My wife's a big Yankee fan. But...
And I'm a huge Yankees fan, dude. All right, there's only one real New York team, and that's the New York Yankees.
Must be hard to be you.
No, it's literally in the name, dude. New York Yankees. All right, and then there's that other team. That's kind of the way the rest of the world sees it.
It's not my fault. I would be a Giants fan if they stayed. My grandparents. The Giants left, and they went with the Mets the next year. So
yeah, man. But no, Giants are over there in San Francisco, where they also seem to have problems putting trash bags into trash cans. It's just easier to throw it on the street. That's really all it is. All right, Belle, we didn't get your list yet, so go ahead, Belle.
I want to hear this. All right,
so we definitely have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, best redneck ever to be in the ring, I think.
Are you saying that's your number one? Are you saying that is your number one? Because Stone Cold came up all the way through the ranks, and I remember when he was. Let me say, I'm going to test Joe here. See what kind of wrestling fan he is. Do you remember who? Do you remember Ted DiBiase, Joe? You remember Ted DiBiase?
I did this list off the top of my head. I think Ted DiBiase should be on my list with Virgil.
Virgil, but guess who the $1 million champ was? Stone Cold Steve Austin was the $1 million champ, managed by Ted DiBiase and Virgil.
I don't remember that.
Yes. Oh, dude, we gotta broaden your strokes here. Anyway, carry on, Belle. Come on, we'll keep it going.
I was a little bit pissed that Undertaker was not on your list. I mean, talk about one of the creepiest characters you could ever imagine taking the ring. Oh. Yeah,
he's like too perfect. I take him for granted. I guess he's like number one all time probably.
I saw his very first. I saw his very first match in WWE, and when he walked across the top rope, holding the arm, and came down and did that slap, we had never seen anything like that before, ever. We had not seen anything like that in wrestling, and when he did it, it was absolutely epic. But at the same time, I remember Rocky. The Rock is Rocky Maivia. I saw his first match. He came out and he was still embracing the Native American thing because of his grandfather. So he actually was out there wrestling as Rocky Maivia. He had the things out there. He had feathers on his arms and all that stuff, dude. Yeah, dude. I think I'm too into wrestling, man. I don't feel bad about it either because there are people who are into comic books and can tell you everything about Superman episode 1. I can tell you about Rocky Maivia. So we all know our passions. Anyway, carry on, Belle.
All right, Ultimate Warrior was definitely on my list. Macho Man on my list. He was
Joe.
around back
I
then.
am so disappointed in the fact that you did not say Macho Man.
He's top.
Don't
top
no
20.
You're wrong. Nope, you're 100% wrong.
Who
dude.
am I going to take off my list? You want me
Macho
to
Man and Macho Man and
Honky Tonk Man off my list?
Are you honestly saying that you would rather see a George the Animal Steel match than Randy Macho Man Savage with Miss Elizabeth? You'd rather watch George Steele, who is just a goon wrestler, dude. He was a good wrestler. He was 100% character, eating the turnbuckles and all that's great. But you'd rather watch a George Steele match than a Randy Macho Man Savage doing the top rope, the big elbow better than anybody does it with beautiful Miss Elizabeth on the side.
You're falling for the show of like Macho Man had the longest entrances and the longest interviews, like pre-fight, post-fight.
Because he could work the mic. George Steele couldn't work the mic. How are you going to interview him? His nickname is literally the animal. He'll eat the goddamn mic. All right, so it's all part of the whole fit and feel. And how about this, man? Look, if I went and asked 50 people, who do you like better, George Steele or Randy Macho Man Savage? What is that answer going to be? What's it going to be?
The answer is going to be Elizabeth.
Well, because she was smoking, dude. That brought he was really,
and she got away with that '80s hairstyle like well into the late '90s.
I know, she was wonderful. I'm sorry, we're still cutting off Belle. Carry on, Belle. I say we. That's just you taking part of the heat. It's me cutting her off. Go ahead, Belle.
Oh, wow, guys. Okay, Mick Foley definitely on my list. I mean, it didn't matter which character he was playing. He owned it every freaking time.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely owned it. I'm going to throw one out that you guys haven't brought up at all, but Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, the Sarge. Yep, Joe. Why didn't you mention Sergeant Slaughter, man?
I liked him. I mean,
there's
so many. We missed so many like from that era, like Big Boss Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Iron Sheik is probably better than all of them for like best racist character ever.
If that's what you're going for. Oh, and by the way, we're down to like 13 viewers, dude. Nobody gives a shit about wrestling. But you know who does care about wrestling? Me. And you know who doesn't get paid to do this show? Me. So I think I should have a little bit of latitude to discuss whatever the fuck I want to discuss. But, Joe, I will make you the offer right now, dude. If you want to do wrestling, sports, have fun, color, all that shit, dude, we'll make a new channel. We'll go on. We'll talk to nobody, and we'll have a fucking ball. I'm ready to do this right this second, dude. Well, I mean, whose channel you want to blow up? You want to blow up yours? I'm more than happy to do it, dude. You can sit there and control the mic.
I can't believe crypto people don't like wrestling. Actually, I would think that the viewership would have doubled as soon as we started this. I'm shocked. But, they all watch UFC, I guess, or they don't, or they watch like, I don't know what they watch, man.
I've been watching
these guys, and I don't know what they.
I've been watching the Bare Knuckle Fighting Club, dude. I'm back, baby. If you haven't watched Bare Knuckles, dude, watch those heavyweights go at it, dude. Man, that's brutal. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Belle. What? Finish your list.
Eddie Guerrero is on my list. I mean,
no, he's not on mine. No.
Eddie Guerrero was middling. I'm just gonna leave it there. I did watch that. I did watch when he went off that top rope, landed and broke his elbow. It went completely the other way, dude. When he landed, Eddie finished the match, dude. So he kayfabe, dude. He maintained it, but his arm went the wrong way when he landed. I mean, 100% the wrong way. I was like, oh Jesus. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That was brutal.
It was harsh.
Junkyard Dog definitely has got to be on
I almost put him. Yeah. Okay. With the chains around his neck. Yeah, he was great.
He was something special, but he was very, very shtick. He didn't really do it for me the way that like Hitman did. So I'm sorry. Carry on, Belle.
Again, the Hart brothers were on my list. I mean, you can't ignore them.
Yep.
Yeah. And you've got to get the original crew from D-Generation X.
And that And that's fantastic, because that kind of pivots right into my list. So can I go ahead and get my list going here, Val? Because I think that was about 10.
You kind of started it with Joe, so we know some of what's on your list, but yes, you can wrap it up.
I'm going to argue that one of the most influential wrestlers of the Attitude Era was, in fact, the great one, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It is easily my number one or number two, but the other number one or number two up there has got to be Shawn Michaels. And the fact that you didn't mention
The
Shawn
Rockers.
Michaels at all, dude. And like I said, man, you're talking about guys that were the Rockers and the Rock and Roll Express and
Rockers,
the Midnight Express, dude. All right, we're talking about way back in the day, man. But these guys were such influential people, and how they morphed what we call wrestling and the way it is right now. I mean, there was a time where they barely even interviewed these people until you got actual athletes, and they are athletes that could do this stuff and work the mic and maintain kayfabe and work with injuries and all that other stuff, and they just kept going. I'm a little bit shocked that neither of those made any of you guys' list. I'm still going to argue Undertaker is a top 5 wrestler in any world. He changed the entire, he made a quantum leap in wrestling entertainment in an entertainment field up there.
I gotta believe he's probably won the most matches of any wrestler, I would imagine, right?
Well, the guy wrestled in like 20 WrestleManias. He won every damn one.
He won every one.
He just lost it. He lost his first one like 2 years ago, because it's a passing of the torch, dude. The guy's old. All right, what are you gonna do, man? And he could love it all he wants, but the body ages, and when the body hits about 60 years old, it's time to commentate or do something else. So, but I'll tell you what, he fought wars in that ring, and one of the greatest oh shit moments of wrestling history is when he was on the top of that cage with Mick Foley, and he put him in the choke slam, and he tossed him off the top of that ring, and Mick Foley came smashing down through the announcer's table. That is 23 and a half feet. That's how far he fell and smashed through that announcer's table, and the entire audience, instead of cheering, just went into holy shit, because we've never seen anything like that before, which is why Mick Foley is easily one of my top 5 wrestlers. That guy came up through it. His fucking ear is gone, dude. All right, that his ear, it doesn't exist. And he talked about it because he was over wrestling in Japan, and they were doing something on the rope, and his fucking ear got tore off. And
I remember I watched a fight of him in Japan. They had barbed wire, and he fought Terry Funk.
Funk.
At the end of the match, he had barbed wire. He had to pull the barbed wire out of his arm. Terry Funk, I think, broke his arm. There was like a ladder match with exploding barbed wire. It was crazy.
It was like the most extreme match that I think I've ever seen in wrestling in any way, shape, or form.
And New Type just hit us with the $5 super chat saying, hot take, Randy Orton was the most influential wrestler. Children's hospitals broke records with admissions of little brothers from the Arcado finisher.
I'll give you the round of applause for the $5. Randy Orton didn't make my top 10, dude. Look, I like what he did, man. Look, the guy's still out there. He's still doing it. He's still got the attitude, the look, the crazy, doing all that shit. I think the funniest thing is that when he was doing, he does his I'm pumping up and he's slamming on the mat. He dislocated his shoulder last year doing that, but he finished the match. He finished the match with a shoulder that it clearly didn't function, but he still finished the match, man. Kayfabe, so balls on the guy. He will absolutely do it. But I'll still put up the thing that I like most about that stuff, and the reason that Triple H is still one of my top 2 is I watched him on an episode of Raw, and that's when Vince McMahon was like punishing him for something, and he wrestled every match. Joe, he wrestled every match. For 2 hours and 18 minutes, Triple H was in the ring, and he wrestled every single match. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen somebody that actually is in shape enough to be able to pull that out, because the guy was wrestling that 100% the entire time. You know what? These guys are designed for 12 to 18 minutes. That's it. You're 12 to 18 minutes, and you're done. And Triple H got back in the ring over and over and over. And he was just, he is the game. All right, 100% the game. Whatever he's doing now with that, I know he's married to Stephanie. They have bunches of kids. They're probably going to be beautiful, strong children. So good on you. But he changed everything about wrestling. He changed the entire dynamic of wrestling. So he's still going to be way up there on the top. And if he's ever headlining any pay-per-view or has anything to do with any pay-per-view, I'm going to give them money so that I can watch it because I want to see what Triple H is up to. I just want to see it, man. I absolutely love it. Randy Macho Man Savage is one of my top 5. One of my top 5. Up until then, dude, all right, you had things like Hulk Hogan, which were doing off-the-rope leg drops. That was the big finishing move. And then, along comes the Macho Man, who's doing the top of the rope, who's getting up there and posing and jumping and doing the elbow drop. We hadn't seen anything like that up until then. Up until Macho Man was doing it, we hadn't seen anything like that. He changed everything. As soon as he did that, suddenly everybody's doing that, to the point where you see like the Big Show. I saw the Big Show do an aerial move. Do you know who the Big Show is?
Yeah, I know who the Big Show is.
7 foot, 500 pounds, doing an aerial move. He should never do that, by the way. Guys that size break wrestling because he will kill you with a punch. That not only is he 7 foot, 500 pounds, but the guy's athletic.
He is athletic.
And that guy will punch you in the chest and just leave a 2-foot hole coming out the other side. So he's not on my list, by the way. But I like them. I'm gonna put I'm still gonna put the Dudley Boys in there, even though they were shtick wrestlers. But they stuck with it all the way through. They were fun. Bubba Ray and Devon, the guys were good wrestlers. They came up with finishing moves that people had never seen before. Their big one was off the rope, and Bubba Ray would lift him up, and Devon would jump the other side, grab the guy's head, and slam him to the ground. And we hadn't seen anything like that before, man. And it's the fact that these guys had wars, absolute wars in the ring that we just don't get these days. We don't have anything like that. If you want to see that kind of energy, you got to go to AEW, man. You can't go to WWE anymore. They've completely changed it. Hot Rod Roddy Piper is easily one of my top 10 because the guy, when those bagpipes struck up, Bell, back me up here, but everything's quiet. Nobody knows what's going on. Oh my goodness, what's going on? And those bagpipes hit. The entire audience just absolutely lit up. That is what you're trying to get out of world wrestling, or out of wrestling entertainment, is people who are that kind of vested in the characters. So they could be the best wrestler in the world, and if nobody gives a shit about them because they're not a character, then they're simply not there. They're not on the list. And Bret Hart. Dude, Bret Hart made a revolution in wrestling, and the fact that he thought
it was real.
And for him, maybe his
he had
world
some psychological problems.
Well, clearly, man. But and when he got rooked out of the belt, that was still one of the top 10.
He didn't understand the business side at all. He thought it was just wrestling. He thought it was real, and he thought he was beating all those guys, I think, deep down.
But you know what? When he got screwed out of the belt, and passed the torch to Shawn Michaels.
It was Shawn Michaels, right?
I'm sure remember this one, dude.
I remember.
When they sent the referee back in and said, restart the match. That was Vince McMahon out there saying, this was not part of the plan. Get back in there and you restart this match. And Shawn, you do what you got to do. But when they turned it over, that was the first time Shawn Michaels had the belt. And it's still burned into my head, man. It's not real, guys. Wrestling is just simply entertainment. I want to make sure you know where I'm at. But if you could believe comic books and feel that kind of passion, then leave me the wrestling passion. All right? Because these are my
I hear it in your
books.
voice. I hear it in your voice.
But when Shawn Michaels hit
this is a lesson for the audience, by the way. It's like, if you ever feel down about your portfolio, you just Google some old wrestlers and watch some old matches, and you'll sound like the way Scott does right now.
Dude, I love it. When Shawn hit the ground, he hit his knees and he was hugging the belt in the middle of the ring like that. Dude, it was an epic. It was a passing of a torch. It was a new generation of wrestling that was going to spawn out of that. And it absolutely did. It turned into, he was no longer Shawn Michaels, dude. He became the Heartbreak Kid right at that moment. And then he partners up and starts holding hands with Triple H, and they turn into Degeneration X, which absolutely defined years and years and years of the Attitude Era.
that's what brought me into wrestling when I was a freshman in college. Was like the DX. It was X-Pac, Billy Gunn, Triple H, and that's when I think wrestling was like really good. That's when they had the corporation. It was like Vince McMahon, The Rock, Ken Shamrock, and they were always just beating the hell out of Mick Foley. Stone Cold guest referee every Monday night.
Yeah,
Would tap out everybody. He crashes the beer truck into the ring.
I remember that. He got out the hose and he was hosing everybody down with
Vince
shitty
McMahon
Budweiser.
The haircut.
He beat
My
the
favorite.
shit out of Vince McMahon in
So
the
many
hospital.
times. Austin, you're fired. That's all I remember from college.
Never stuck.
And you know what? I'm a little bit shocked that nobody has mentioned probably what I consider one of the most influential wrestlers. He held the World Wrestling Entertainment Championship longer than anybody else. His toy, because he tore up his shoulder. He had an AC, or he actually had rotator cuff. He tore it out completely and had to undergo the surgery. His toy, which is the most valuable WWE action figure known to man, if you can still find one that's in a package, because his action figure was in a sling. Now, I want you to think real hard about this, man, because the guy transitioned over to AEW, and when he came out for his AEW introduction, he merely came out, he sat down Indian style right there on the ramp, and the crowd roared for 5 solid minutes. They didn't say a thing. They were just basking in the fact that this man was back. He's not a big wrestler. He's about 220 pounds. Joe, I need you to give me the name, dude.
I'm Googling it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
His intro song was Cult of Personality.
I know this one.
Go ahead, give him the answer, Bell, because Joe sucks.
It's CM Punk.
CM Punk. How, Joe, could you possibly put a top 10 list together and not include CM Punk? All right, because you kind of pissed me off here, and now I want you to justify how you could snuff one of the most influential, game-changing wrestlers of the entire Attitude Era from then to today. How can you leave CM Punk off it? What do you got against the guy?
Even if I remembered him, I wouldn't put him on my list because we also left off Papa Shango. We forgot about.
We
him
left
too.
off a lot of guys, dude. All right.
Oh, you remember Bam Bam Bigelow?
I love Bam Bam. Come on.
His wife used to shop in my store when I worked at the vitamin store, and his wife used to come in, and that's the last name on her credit card. It's a real last name. Bigelow's great last name.
I remember Bam Bam Bigelow did a cameo in a movie called Major Payne. Do you remember that movie, Major Payne?
Major Payne was with Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans, yeah. You remember that?
Epic movie, yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow was the guy the kids paid to come and beat up Major Payne. That was Bam Bam Bigelow, dude. His head was still shaved. He saw the flames. He was a guy who was paid to go beat up Damon Wayans. I love the guy, man. He was great.
My wife plays music videos for my kid, and she plays "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." You know who's in that one?
Oh my God, man! The great Captain Lou, dude, one of the greatest managers of absolute all time. See, now that's what I miss about wrestling today, as opposed to them, as opposed to back in the day. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart, yeah,
Jimmy Hart, man, with the goddamn megaphone that used to just piss people off up and down.
But didn't he managed Honky Tonk Man or Hart Foundation or both?
He managed both, but he was most well known for the Hart Foundation. And the fact that guy walking around outside of the ring with a megaphone while the wrestling is going on, dude, was classic. And he never changed it. So every time he hit somebody with it, it got dented. He'd still keep the same megaphone. Dude, that thing was just like a mangled mush by the end of it, but he still carried it because, you know, I respect what he does. But yeah, we left off managers, man. And
That was
DiBiase,
such a great element. I wonder who thought of that as part of the script, is to have like a manager who is his own character as well. That was genius for WWE.
They had some big, beautiful managers. Mr. Fuji, Classy Freddie Blassie. You remember Classy Freddie Blassie? You remember all these guys?
Mr. Fuji,
oh my God, man! Mr. Fuji
was
Classy
dirty.
Freddie.
He used to throw salt in.
He'd blow it. He would blow the puff of salt and oh my god, I'm blind, I can't see. Everybody would get the shit beat out of him.
Oh man, do you remember the tag team? Your channel's gonna get canceled for this. Do you
Probably.
remember the tag team where it was like one wrestler and then a midget wrestler on the same team? Do you remember that? It was a WrestleMania, I think. Do you it was like, I think it was Big Boss Man and somebody else.
I remember because he
Please
came
tell me
out.
you remember that.
He came out. He was dressed like he was Little Boss Man because he was dressed in the same shit that Big Boss Man was wearing.
Oh man, I got.
All right, then we're thinking of something else, man.
They must have done it more than once. It was so good.
I'm willing to come there with you, man. But that's the way. That's the one.
It might have been
I remember.
Earthquake, and then a midget, and then Big Boss Man and a midget, and they were tag teams.
Are we allowed to say midget? I don't even know the words anymore, dude. We can say fuck and all that other stuff, man. That won't get us demonetized. But I think if you say midget, that'll get you canceled. I don't know the rules anymore, dude. Bell keeps track of this. She's
but it was called midget wrestling though, so I think we could say it.
I back in the time, yes, you could say it back then, Joe, but you can't say it these days. So
we're referencing a classic time in sports entertainment.
All right, we'll give it there.
So now it's more appropriately called dwarf wrestling is what it says on this wrestling website.
Is that better? Is that really better?
I don't think it's better.
I mean, dwarf as opposed to midget.
I think of something different. Like I watched Lord of the Rings.
I don't think they really care.
I don't think so either.
The little people, they don't care.
I think
little
really
people
do.
is really rude. I think that's insulting.
Man, I don't even know anymore, dude. You know what? They're you know, I'm trying to think of one of those guys, Billy Barton, one of the really, really famous midgets. His son is like 6'4", so it had nothing to do with any part of it. It was just like a DNA thing. But his son is like 6'4". I think that's funny. Anyway, him and his wife are both little people, and their son is 6'4". So apparently it goes.
Wow.
We drifted off there.
Generation.
Do we got anything else? Anything from the audience? I know we ran everybody off. I don't care. I had more fun talking about this than I've had talking about crypto for a long time. So do we got anything, Bell? Anybody want to weigh in on this?
Okay, so we had a lot of people actually weighing in. So Zazo Think Tank, Hacksaw Jim Duggar.
Oh, Hacksaw.
Hacksaw. Yep. Oh my God, I forgot about Hacksaw, dude. I have some friends here in Des Moines. They're actually wrestling promoters, and they do a show up in Cedar Rapids, and they get some big names in there, dude. Like I got to meet, I got to meet. Man, all these names are escaping me right now, but the headliner was actually Hacksaw Jim, and he came out with the 2x4 and the big American flag and all that stuff. Come on, man, the guy's a legend. He was great, but obviously the best, people age. But yeah, Hacksaw Jim he was always unique, man. I love that guy. Carry on, Bell.
All right, Zazo Think Tank also chiming in with Junkyard Dog.
I think Joe mentioned Junkyard Dog. He's not on the top 10, but he's up there.
One of us mentioned him, but he was cool.
I did.
Yeah,
you did.
Oh,
you
Bell did. Yeah, so we'll give you Junkyard Dog, man. That guy was he was something.
A Political with Mr. Ass Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. I love Billy Gunn, and he did a brief stint as part of Degeneration X. He never really belonged there, in my opinion. I don't think he ever should have been there. Over there with like Paco and all these other X-Pac and all these other people. Degeneration X was Triple H and Shawn Michaels and China. Everybody else were tourists. They came in, they passed, they were gone. China was wonderful. I loved her. I loved.
Can't believe we forgot about him.
Forgot about. Sorry, go ahead, Mel.
All right, so Zazo Think Tank also with Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter is legendary, man. Now, these were the epic matches before we had the last ones. But Sergeant Slaughter versus the Iron Sheik. Joe, surely.
Iron Sheik had one of the best Twitter accounts. Oh, I remember Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik's Twitter is probably the best Twitter. If you ever read those tweets coming out of that account. I don't know who sends them out.
I don't follow any of the any of the wrestlers, dude, but I should, man. That guy was he was epic, dude. He was absolutely epic.
He went on a podcast. He went on Opie and Anthony, and he pissed his pants.
Pissed his pants? Please elaborate.
Yeah, as he just sat there and didn't feel like going to the bathroom and just pissed himself while he was on the podcast.
Well, the shit that the guy's been through. I'll give you that. I mean, if that's your thing, you know, fuck it, I ain't getting up, man. I'm just gonna piss right here. I get it. All right, you live, dude. They live lives that we couldn't even contemplate. Driving 4.5 hours, 8.5 day and a half to get there and do a show and make $60. You know, they live lives that we can't even. I mean, they don't even pay for the painkillers that these guys were on. So yeah, I get it, man. Stand there and piss, dude. I'm not even going to point it out. Bell, carry on.
All right. So Think Tank, King Kong Bundy, and Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake. Oh my God. You remember who is he had some of the most epic matches. Jake the Snake was just a unique character, dude, but he had some of the most unique and long-running feuds with a guy named Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat. I had the action figure for Ricky Steamboat. Yeah.
There you go. I'm just saying him, Jake the Snake, and Ricky Steamboat had some of the most epic matches and rivalries of like all time. And I love what was his Jake the Snake, his whole
DDT.
big finish was the DDT. Yeah.
I did it to my brother so many times.
He would knock you out with that, and then he would drag and wrap the snake around you. He'd put the big boa constrictor and just let it crawl away on you, man. And you have to sit there and pretend that you're unconscious as this giant snake is slowly coiling its way around you. Tell me wrestling is fake.
It's not fake.
Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat, actually, I believe in a match when he was a nobody, I think Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think he broke his neck fighting Ricky Steamboat when he was like a younger wrestler.
Oh yeah, and
he did screw his neck up. That's actually
Austin talks about that all the time, man. He broke his neck. He literally broke his neck.
I think Ricky Steamboat dropped him when they were doing something. I never saw the clip, but I think it was Ricky. It was
Steamboat a pile driver. He hit him with a pile driver, and Stone Cold broke his neck, and that's why ever since that time, he said it's in his contract. He won't do pile drivers, man. He just won't. They're more or less. Nothing is safe about that. All right, there's nothing safe.
You got these 250-pound guys jumping off the top ropes, through tables, swinging chairs, all amped up on steroids and cocaine. And it's like, do you remember the match where it was Mick Foley as Mankind against The Rock? It was the I Quit match, and The Rock. If you watch really closely, The Rock's hitting him with a chair, and Mick Foley doesn't get his hand up, and he really hits him in the head, and he's gushing blood under the mask, and The Rock just keeps hitting him with the chair.
Well, kayfabe, dude, you can't break it, dude. You've got to carry on, man.
I think he hits him like 12 chair shots, gushing blood under the mask. Medical staff comes out, they put him on a stretcher. Mick Foley refuses to go on the stretcher. He has to walk off on his own. To me, that was the best match I've ever seen.
Icon, absolute legend. Unless you see anybody doing this, any of the referees, any of the wrestlers, if you don't see this right here, which means he's really fucked up, they're going to carry on. And if anybody could take it, dude, nobody could take it like Mick, dude. I watched a guy.
Another local. He's a local guy, man. My dad saw him in Home Depot dressed exactly the same as he does on TV. Sweatpants, red flannel, hair in front of his face, just like a mess.
And you know, when he quit wrestling, he wrote that book. I forget the name of his book, but it was a goddamn bestseller. I mean, all the way around. The guy is I remember just seeing so it at real,
the airport.
Dude.
I remember seeing it at the airport, his book. One of my friends definitely has it. I might have to get that. I might have to get it from him.
Yeah, the guy is just so real, dude. It's almost bothersome. Joe, I think we should do a wrestling podcast, dude. Honestly, God, dude, I think we'd have more fun doing this. I'm having a ball. Bell, carry on.
All right. So a few other people chiming in. One of them. So Top Cat says Andre the Giant.
Andre, you're talking about a legend, though, man. You're talking about a guy that he was like the original. I think the best stuff about Andre was how he was away from the ring. You hear all of the stories, and they'll go out to eat or drink, and the guy would drink like more alcohol than any human could possibly consume.
And then drive home. He was the driver. There was a great documentary about him. They said he drank, I think he drank like 6 bottles of wine and a case of beer at dinner, and was the designated driver for that group that was there.
And got him home, dude. I mean, it's crazy shit.
I left the obvious legends off my list. I left off Undertaker. I left off Hogan. I left off Undertaker. I'm not Undertaker. Andre the Giant, because they're like almost they're too pristine. The list starts with those guys. Stone Cold is up there too, and Triple H. But I remember watching those guys like King Kong Bundy against Hulk Hogan in the steel cage, right? Remember that one?
You're talking about WrestleMania like three, dude.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. Yes, I did watch them, as a matter of fact. But
That was the first time I saw blood, and my uncle's like, "Oh, it's fake, it's ketchup," and then it confused me even more.
It's like, nope, it ain't, dude. They give him the little razor cuts right along the scalp, and nothing bleeds like the scalp, dude. I mean, it's just gushing fucking blood, man. It's fantastic. I'm not ignoring them, but these are the guys that like defined it. All right, these are the guys that changed everything.
And Ric Flair's up there too, obviously.
Ric Flair, you know what? Nobody could flop like Ric Flair. You hit him in the nuts and that face forward flop. People are still trying to do it to this day. They cannot do it, man. That is Ric Flair's thing, and nobody did it better than Flair. And the woo! I mean, Ric Flair, he just does it better than everybody else, man. He can't leave him off. He's one of my top 10, easily one of my top 10.
We forgot one legend.
Who?
We forgot Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect. Oh my God, that guy was. He had his moment. Well, you know what, dude? Yeah, you're talking about. But we also left off Mr. Wonderful. We left off Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
All right, then that guy did the pile driver better than anybody did the pile driver. That was his move. And we left a few legends on.
Oh man, I'm looking. I just Googled Mr. Perfect wrestling, and you know who came up? Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Bobby, oh my God, how can I forget Bobby?
It's easy to forget.
Best manager, dude. He had a lisp, and he was still up there just dominating the microphone, dude. Bobby the Brain Heenan, dude. I forgot. Oh my God, I forgot all about
how good of a company is WWE. My God, they put together. They're their own Hollywood with these characters that live forever, and the stories. I thought Vince McMahon was like a ring commentator. Like no one knew he owned the whole thing when I was.
Oh yeah, and Vince was, he look at his size, dude. The guy, even to this day, he still works out. I mean, he's still up there.
He was a beast.
Got that huge chest. He was a beast. He wrestled his own kid, Shane McMahon. And the neatest thing, I remember seeing at a wrestling.
His son was so out of shape. Remember his son's friends? What were they? The Mean Street Posse.
Yeah, I remember that. But you know what? Shane was doing the business during the Attitude Era, and I remember him getting suplexed through a window up on top of the ring, and it didn't break. So they just picked him up and did it again. It didn't break. They picked it up and did it again, and it finally shattered. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, this kid's a billionaire. He doesn't need this. He doesn't need this.
He took one for the team for sure. He paid his dues in the ring. Stone Cold beat his ass a couple times.
Everybody beat his ass.
He
dude.
got his.
Fantastic.
I think Ken Shamrock. I think he fought Ken Shamrock once. I remember Ken Shamrock having him in the ankle submission, but he cried like a little, you know what, and that was his character. And then the Mean Street Posse was the best.
Yeah, that's when they came out. But I watched him wrestle his dad. Now you got to admit, dude, that's just pretty cool, dude. You're literally wrestling your dad.
He's a big boy too, but his dad was like.
His dad is a big man. But I remember Vince laying in the corner, just beat up and dead. And Shane goes and puts a garbage can on his waist, on his lap. And then he goes over to the other side of the ring, and he does one of the aerials off the top rope all the way the hell across the ring and slams his feet into that trash can. Dude, these are very wealthy men who don't need this. But
Shane was not athletic. Shane had to get in shape as an adult for wrestling. He was not athletic at all.
No, man, that's not his thing, but it was absolutely epic. It was absolutely heroic. This happened in like 1990, 91. I'm talking about it on a crypto podcast in 2024. So clearly there was something that resonated well with both me and
dude, I remember
anybody in the wrestling audience.
I remember just the signs that the audience, a couple of the signs that the audience had. I still remember the signs because they were so funny. I remember a sign that just said "Up next, Pacific Blue." Do you remember the show?
Yeah, it always followed it. It always followed wrestling, dude. That was great. But you know who also got snuffed on our list here from everybody is Jerry the King Lawler.
I know. Yeah.
Are you? He's
before my time. I remember him in Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I do remember that he fought. God, what's the guy's name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim.
That was-
No,
that was
in the
real.
movie, but who was he playing? The guy he
I-
was actually playing, because Jerry the King really did.
I
that.
always forget the comedian's name, but Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Thank you. Yeah, but Jerry the King Lawler, and I remember he was married to this little 22-year-old girl. I forget her name, but her whole big thing was everybody wanted to see her puppies, because that was Jerry the King's thing.
Sable.
Anytime
Yeah,
Sable.
it was
Yeah, and
Sable.
she jumps up on the top ring during a pay-per-view and takes her top off, and she's showing her tits to everybody. And even Vince, that was too far for Vince. Even Vince said, "Wait a minute." And I remember they tackled her, they put her like a beach towel around her and dragged her down the middle of the thing, and then they still had to play it off like this was part of the show. That girl, for some reason, just wanted to show her tits to the entire WWE world. And God, I don't even know if it was WWE or if it was WWF back then, dude.
It was
It was W- it was
WWF
W-
back then.
Wait,
was it
with
it
Sable?
E or F?
Yeah, it was WWF when Sable first came on.
Wow.
I got to look this up, man, because anytime we get into the female wrestlers, it gets a little bit muddy for me. Mostly
I heard
the
that
thing-
she was like the most hated employee of WWE. I heard that all the wrestlers hated her, and they would just play pranks on her constantly that she did not enjoy.
I believe every single word of that, man. She was terrible. All right, Belle, look, we are a little bit over time, but Joe doesn't have to go to work tomorrow, so I feel no guilt about this, dude. Belle,
I go back to work in 8 weeks.
All right, but let's go ahead and finish it up, Belle.
So Political with Val Venus.
Val Venus, God, man.
I mentioned him today when I texted you. Val Venus had a good song.
He had a good song, good run. Yeah, I appreciate that. Go ahead, Belle.
All right, and then Zazo Think Tank dropping the comment. Okay, did Macho Man? He did Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim will always be remembered over wrestling.
Yeah.
Nope. You know what? The guy capitalized on his success in wrestling so that he could go out and become a brand himself. And the fact that he's dead, and the fact that you're still talking about snapping to a Slim Jim and associating it with Randy Macho Man Savage tells me that it worked. It was a really good thing. It was a stupid ass campaign. All of it was, but I guarantee you, he sold Slim Jims just because Randy Macho Man. I want the hat. All right, I want the crazy glasses. I want the ribbons hanging off the sleeves and the circling in the ring. Nobody did it like that, man. Nobody's ever gonna do it like that again. The closest you could have to that, because Macho Man was not a large guy. He was 220, maybe 230. He was he was in the lower range of heavyweight. But nobody did it like him, dude. The closest you could have to a Macho Man clone would probably be somebody like CM Punk or Shawn Michaels, where we're talking about the smaller, hyper-athletic wrestlers. But it was his mic, man. It was the way he could work the mic. Yeah! Nobody
Honestly,
could do it like that.
He's
dude.
right up there. Like, you could put him with like The Rock in terms of his mic work. It was A+.
Yeah, but The Rock, his whole thing is the elbow. I'm sorry, the people's eyebrow.
Yeah.
I love The Rock. All right, I'm never going to take anything away from Dwayne Johnson, man. The guy,
He was so good on the mic. So
he
good.
was excellent, man. But the whole eyebrow thing. I'm not going to take my hat off, but the people's eyebrow and all that stuff. And the guy capitalized on every bit of his of his success, and where he started and where he finished. He's still in there now. He was just at the last WrestleMania. He's turned into a heel again, because there are very, very few wrestlers that can go from heel to face as well as The Rock. Everybody else has done it, and they've tried. Randy Orton, he's like a professional anarchist, but he does heel well, he does face well. And Shawn Michaels, he does heel well, he does face well. There's very few wrestlers that can pull off either side of it. And Rock is one of those, man. You love to love him, and you love to hate him. So I'm always okay anytime he's brought up in the conversation, man. The guy's 100% heroic. Is that all we got, Bell? Are we ready to wrap this?
Political, gotta have Sting in top 10. He literally was known as the icon.
Joe, go ahead and take that one, dude. What do you think of Sting?
WCW, I never watched it once. I considered it to be like I'm a Met fan. I never watched American League.
Sting actually was WWE at one point.
I remember
he
that
bounced, but he's more well
the
known for
crossover,
WCW.
the
Yeah.
crossover, I hated, and I stopped watching wrestling. To be honest with you, yeah,
Sting is
that's how seriously I took it.
Sting is 100% the icon. The only problem that I have with Sting is the fact that he was still trying to wrestle like last year. Dude, you're 65, 66 years old. All right, man. It's time to take the make-off off. It's time to let it go, man. Look, when you get to that age, it's time to commentate. And Billy Gunn, he's doing the same thing. They're getting all of these really, really old wrestlers, and they're tossing them in the ring. And it's great. It's fun. We all want to root for the people that we remember. But it was your heyday, man. And you guys are way, way past it. It's time to really, really pass the torch. And I think it's your job is to, introduce these younger wrestlers to how to do what you do when you did it. And it just, that's the only issue. I watched him, dude. He's old. He's beat up. He cannot do he's no longer the icon. He's what he was. And I think it's time for a lot of them to let it go. They just won't. Anyway, is that all we got, Bill?
One more comment that I find absolutely hysterical coming in from Zazo Think Tank, and then we can wrap.
Okay.
Maybe Adam should learn the Slim Jim marketing.
Yeah.
Adam? What are we talking about? The token Adam?
Yeah, we're talking about the token.
Okay. I don't know, Joe. I think we're past the crypto portion of the show here, man. I don't really want to bash on Adam, but I'm more than happy to if you want to. So
No,
what do you think?
You get one chance. You get one chance in crypto, and then someone copies your code and makes a new thing, and people like new things. I don't know. I mean, what wrestler would Adam be if you had to size up a wrestler to Adam?
Sting. He was great back in his day, but now he's just a shadow of his former self. So I'll put him right up there. People remember it. They're going to remember it fondly, dude. They're going to look back. Oh, I remember Adam. It was great. Remember when I bought that at like $34? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, that's what we do. We look at these old tokens the way that we look at old wrestlers. Yeah, we reminisce, man. They set the stage, and then all the young kids came in and just absolutely took over and dominated it, doing what you're doing, but doing it in a beautiful and new and unique way. And meanwhile, you still got the old relics like CosmosDefi, like Scott from ThePodocasts, that remember them fondly from their heyday, but currently they have no actual worth, and we just won't let them go. That like, seems to be.
They're not John Cena.
No,
it's like Derek Jeter. His last couple of years just kept playing for no reason.
He was great back in his day.
And Derek Jeter, yeah.
Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, all the guys that were great at one time, but now they're just shadows of their former self. But we still have the jerseys, and if we paid for that jersey, we're gonna wear that goddamn jersey. A-Rod, man, yeah, remember him with the Rangers? He was fantastic, and that's what we. That's what we end up with, and that's kind of what you got with Adam, so that was great. I'm going to go ahead and throw my closing thoughts up here. Guys, I appreciate you indulging us this long. The funny thing is that we're almost in 2 hours in, and it doesn't feel like it. Man, we have not taken a break. We just kind of rolled right through, and it kind of makes me wonder if it's time for the podcast to maybe pivot a little bit, or even a little bit more than what we're doing right now. You guys have given us your loyalty over the years and years and years that me and Bell have been doing this, so we're never really going to bail it out. But the fact that I could sit here and talk with at CosmosDefi for a good hour and a half about wrestling with no breaks, no stops, and I didn't even realize that an hour passed until I looked it up. Maybe it's time for us to kind of pivot off and do what we really, really, really like to do. I'm more than happy to sit here and talk to you guys about crypto. I'll tell you how to make money all day. I know, because I make money all day, man. I got no problem with that, pushing it over. But as far as changing the narrative and changing the outlook and changing people's opinions, you can't change people's opinions, man. They believe what they believe. So that being the case, why don't I just simply tell you what I believe and then talk about what I like to talk about? And clearly I have a passion for sports, for wrestling, for bare knuckle fighting, MMA, and all that other good stuff. And it's just, I like to do it. So maybe it's time to start doing what I'd like to do as opposed to doing what I have to do. I don't know. Just a thought. Joe, big screen. It's all you, brother. Go ahead and sum up your visit with us here at the podcast.
Yeah, I think at the end of every stream we should do a what did we learn today? And I learned where Scott's introduction came from. It just occurred to me at the end of the
Yeah.
stream. It's the DX. It's a DX New Age Outlaws introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Scott, pragmatic investor, brings to you a crypto show about wrestling. Yada yada yada. That's where you got it from.
You're not too far off, brother. You're really not, man. Go ahead, dude. Sum it up.
That's it. Yeah, we'll talk. Listen, you can't be one dimensional. Only talk about, especially if you're going to talk about tokens that are down only. We're not doing that anymore. It's summertime. We're gonna have fun. When I'm back on the wagon, I'll have some bourbon with Scott. We'll talk about wrestling. We'll talk about how the Yankees just buy their championship rings. We'll talk about just why car racing is not as fun as people in the Midwest think it is, and that's it.
You know what? I'm not going to let it go with just that right there, dude. The Oakland Athletics, all right, had the smallest budget of any team of any time and paid the least amount for any single win.
And
So
the Yankees barely beat them.
I understand that you have a Yankees issue. All right, I get it, dude. All right, you're a Mets fan. Your team sucks. It's always going to suck. It'll never get any better. You're just going to perpetually live in mediocrity. So as much as I appreciate that, dude. All right, there's lots of different ways to do baseball of other things. If you want to have a baseball stream, brother, I'm there. All right, nice. Baseball, boxing, tennis, whatever you want, man. I'm there, dude. I'm a huge sports guy. But we don't have time to do that right now. What we have to do
baseball next time.
Yeah, what we have to do is turn the show over to the show producer, Bella, who was just fine enjoying the run that we were on, but she's going to talk us up, take us out. I'm going to see you next time. Belle, please do your thing.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, even though I am actually kind of sad that we're getting off this stream, we cannot thank you guys enough for joining us this evening and sticking with us this entire time. Again, we're going to be back on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. In between now and Thursday, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to get those over to Scott or myself, Scott at ThePodocasts.com or Bella at ThePodocasts.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we had a blast this evening. We hope you did too, and we'll see you on Thursday.
I'm almost going to end the show, but I just saw Rarma's comment, by the way. Logan Paul talks a lot about himself, but absolutely shit performance and does nothing. Joe, what do you think about I cannot. Oh, my God, Logan Paul, dude. Do you want to get into MMA? I'm ready. Look, Belle's on big screen. She's just like angered right now. She's pissed.
Logan Paul's good at marketing.
And marketing is what it's about. You know what? Fuck it, dude. We're done with the stream, guys. Wonderful time. We're going to catch you next time. I'm ending it right now. Cheers. We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at ThePodocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of